Hello and welcome to CompuScholar's monthly webinar for November 2018. Today we're going to be talking about the programming languages and the course tracks that you want to use in your high school to build your CTE IT program. My name is Chris Just. I'm the president of CompuScholar. I've spent quite a few years as a software engineer as well as many years in the education space writing computer science curriculum. I'm always happy to chat. You're welcome to send questions and comments to me at chris.just@compuscholar.com. So today we're going to start off and take a look at the industry demand for certain programming languages. We'll get a feel for what's popular and what's not at the moment. We'll also review the goals of your CTE program. What actually are we trying to accomplish with our high school students? And then we'll talk about actually constructing your course tracks, learn some traps to avoid, and learn how to satisfy the actual goals of your program. So let's start by thinking about the languages that are popular and in demand in the industry. Last year we looked at this in 2017, and we looked at several different sources online, and we came up with lists of languages that were ranked by some methodology, and everybody seemed to use a different methodology, so of course they came up with different listings. But you can see there's the usual suspects here on the list with Java and C and C++ and Python and C# and so forth. Another source included JavaScript and SQL in their list. But the bottom line here is that things are a little bit different in terms of popularity depending on who you ask. So let's fast forward to 2018, and we surveyed some online sources again, and to no surprise we came up with some completely different lists. The same sorts of languages tend to be on these lists, but again they're all in different orders. So let me flip back and forth for a moment. 2017, 2018. So you can see there's quite a bit of instability here in terms of what people consider to be popular languages, although certain languages do tend to bubble towards the top. So given this background, when folks ask me what is the best language to teach high school students to make sure they are successful in the job market, what's the answer? And this question is quite often asked both by individual parents as well as teachers and districts. So my answer actually is it doesn't matter at all. And that's maybe a little bit surprising, but that's what we're going to talk about today. So why doesn't it matter what particular language you select in high school? The reality is when you're going for that software engineering job, you're not doing it as a high school student. You're doing it as a 4-year degree college graduate, so employers are generally going to require that 4-year degree. They don't care about your high school experience. They don't care about your high school certifications. But what they may be interested in is the fact that you have learned multiple programming languages. So once you've learned one language, that's a good sign that you can learn the rest. A for loop is a for loop, and an array is an array in just about any language. But the ability to talk in Java and JavaScript and C# and HTML and everything is important because companies today often deal with a bunch of different technologies. So with that in mind, what actually does matter and what is a guideline for success for students that are going for that first job interview after they've graduated college? Well, companies, when they're interviewing these so-called fresh outs, are going to be looking at their grades, what they studied in college, if they had any job experience while in college, either through an internship or a co-op experience. That's a huge plus. The candidate will be judged on the ability to communicate and answer questions, and of course references are checked, and connections, personal or otherwise, within the company are always great. So as a high school teacher or a high school CTE coordinator, you may be thinking, where's my role? What's in it for me as a high school influencer? What are we doing for these kids? So what should be the purpose of our IT programs in high school? And I'll give you a little hint. What we should not be trying to do is graduate a little mini engineer that is prepared to go out of high school and take a job. Companies are simply not looking for that by and large today. They are looking for college graduates. So with that in mind, the big purpose of the IT program in your high school should be to encourage students to actually go get that 4-year degree in college. It doesn't have to be a computer science degree literally, but generally something related to that will be a prerequisite in order to get a job. So to do that at the high school level, we want to give kids a range of interesting opportunities, expose them to a bunch of different technologies, just find something that clicks with a student. You really only need one course or one hook that gets a student thinking about computer science and gets them excited about the topic and convince them that this is something that they might want to look at in college as a career. So what we've seen over many districts in a number of states is what we like to call the pyramid trap. So let's talk about that for a little bit. So you might be familiar with this typical course track where you've defined Computer Programming 1 as an entry-level course, then Computer Programming 2, maybe Computer Programming 3, and then a practicum or something like that at the 4th level. So you've got this long funnel where students all start at the beginning, they go through a careful sequence of courses to graduate at the end. And these courses are typically in the same language like Java. So the students are just doing Java, 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 or something like that throughout their high school career. So what's the problem with this? Well, you might start off with a bunch of excited kids in Computer Programming 1, but only a portion of those are going to survive and thrive in the secondary classes. So as you move through the course tracks, what you find is that you have fewer and fewer kids that survive until the next round. It's harder to find teachers for these advanced subjects, and it's harder to find curriculum. So as publishers, we understand that there are vanishingly few students that reach these higher levels, and so the curriculum is usually just not there. So these kinds of course tracks really don't meet the goals of our CTE program, which is again to expose kids to a variety of topics, to really encourage them to get into computer science. So what would we consider to be a purposeful arrangement of course tracks? Our goals again are appeal to the students, are offering courses that can actually be taught by the teachers in the curriculum that you have, and we also want flexibility. So we would love to enable students that are older, perhaps a junior or senior, to wake up one day and say, you know what, I would love to try computer science. I don't want to go back and take a freshman class, but what is there for me that I can dabble in this subject and see if this is something that I want to do? So what we recommend is a course track that is generally a series of introductory courses that can be taken in any order with no prerequisites between them. So a student can hop in here at any time and take any one of these courses, and they can be successful in that introductory class. So if a student wants to learn about video game design, hop right into a video game design course. If they want to learn computer programming, usually offering a couple different languages, perhaps an AP computer science course is great. We also recommend web design. That's a fun way to get into what is an increasingly important delivery mechanism for applications. So teaching students some HTML and CSS is a good thing. And what you find with this arrangement is that you can maintain your student population and enthusiasm throughout the 4 years. These introductory courses will appeal to a wide range of students. You've got curriculum that's available, you've got teachers that can teach this introductory material, and so you've got a robust computer science program from the first year all the way through the last year without any real difficulty in finding students, finding teachers, or finding course material. So we recognize that our recommendations are not necessarily the way that things are set up today by some states or districts. So your course tracks may be fixed. You may have little control over them, and you have to teach certain things in certain orders. So we recognize and understand that. It is possible to change the direction of things at a district or state level, but that requires a long-term commitment to talk about the issues that you're facing, to talk about the way that you want to do things, and to apply that pressure at the district or state level to make the changes that are best for your students. We know that states will frequently rewrite their computer science standards every few years, and so that usually is a great opportunity to hop in and be part of the process. The second thing that is often constraining for districts as well is the fact that simply it's hard to get teachers that are available to teach the subject matter, that have the training and professional development that they need, and that stick around for a long-term basis. We certainly recommend using a partner like CompuScholar, who can provide robust training for your teachers in terms of professional development, that can provide a wide variety of introductory course options that you can use to fill up your course tracks, and that can help you keep up with industry trends. So the big takeaway today, I hope, is that you will thoughtfully consider your computer science course tracks and try to design them as best you can to appeal to a wide variety of students, that will let kids flexibly take a number of different subjects to find things that are interesting to them. We really appreciate you watching today, and again, we're always happy to answer questions or engage in a longer discussion. You're welcome to contact me directly, or you can always give our office a call or contact us through our website.